Hey everyone. I'm in the bath because I really need to chill. Um, been to college. I've had a good day really, overall. But my brain's had a bit of a meltdown. um, as you know, it was science today, and we've gone straight in and started with chemistry. Now, I've not really done chemistry since I was 16, 15, 16. Or 14, 15, 16 really. Um, and that's over 30 years ago. um, so yeah, she's gone straight into um, particles, how they form, how they react, different states, solids, liquids and gases. So we've gone into all of that, which I've done really well with. I've been answering questions and, getting them right and things like that. Doing really well, but I'm taking notes. And then we get handed a paper and we're sort of like writing on the paper as well, and I'm taking notes and I'm sort of like listening to what's going on. And then she starts going into density. We worked out how to get mass and volume to make the density of an object, or whatever, piece of metal, or an ice cube, or whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. And we've got to the maths. Now, changing words into letters, and then having to divide or multiply and things like that, and coming up with an answer and stuff like that. Back in when I was at school, we wasn't allowed to use calculators. I've been trying to do it in my head. No, I can use a calculator. But yeah, I am struggling with the maths a bit. When she was explaining density, which is a little p, is represented by a little p, and then the mass of an object, which is what it weighs, is represented by a little m, and then you divide that by volume, which is length by width by height. See, my brain's shutting down already. I'm trying to rethink it. I've not stopped thinking about it since the lesson, and it's doing my head in, because I just can't grasp certain parts of it. I can understand P, with the M and a line and a V, or P equals mass over density, or mass and divided by density. And then we started, doing weights and measures and things like that. Mass and volume, I should say. Kilograms and, grams and centimetres. I'm only just grasping that part, converting it all over into what it is, and then adding it together to get the density. So then she went one step further, and we started trying to calculate the energy. And it was, oh my god. I've sort of grasped some of it, but I was trying to write stuff down, because I thought that, I wouldn't be able to take this paper. I thought this paper that I was handing in, that I was writing on, was actually going to be handed back in, but it wasn't. We actually kept it, so I didn't have to make notes. It was all on the paper that I was writing on. But I'm sat there and I'm trying to work stuff out and trying to write it down and get the answer, and she's gone on to something else completely different, and I'm sort of like, oh, I've missed that bit. My head's had a bit of a meltdown. I've tried to sit down and do go back over what I've learnt today. I can to a certain part, and then I do think that I've missed some stuff out, some crucial parts, because I've been too in my own head, panicking, trying to work out something that I didn't really understand. But I do understand certain parts of it, but I need to make sure I've got all the facts before I can do my homework to a certain extent. But when it gets to the bits that I was all sort of like, oh, panicking over, my head shuts down and decides that it really is like being back at school. That panic's come back. This is why I'm in the bath now talking about it, because I needed to calm down with some music and, you know, chill out. Because I just could not concentrate, but my head was going everywhere. I was sort of like jumping ahead of myself completely and getting things mixed up, and I just couldn't work it out. And then I turned away from all my work, and, you know, and just, come on, Kaz, big breath, ground yourself. And I actually started feeling upset, you know, like I did when I was at school, you know, because I couldn't do something. I could feel that. It's not anxiety. I don't know what it is. I can't place my finger on that emotion. I suppose it's frustration, panic, and all sorts of different ones all mixed into one. But yeah, I could feel myself welling up, and I was like, Kaz, come on, calm down, you're fine, you'll work it out, don't worry. You know, I had to reassure myself that it's going to be all right, you know, it's only your fucking second lesson, chill out, man. So I chilled out. But then I get distracted again. It's like I start trying to work it out in my head again. So I get my homework back open, and, you know, I'm trying to, it's like, Kaz, step back. I must have done this about 4 times. And each time sort of like getting to that state where, you know, I turn away from it, because it really is just confusing my head so much. My head just goes, not doing anything, but going everywhere. It's very strange. Like it shuts down, but it goes into hyperactive mode as well. It's very hard to explain. But yeah, this is why I've come in here. I've got my music on, having a nice hot bath with candles and bubbles and some incense and stuff. So yeah, I'm chilling out now. But yeah, having those feelings come back up. I mean, I suppose it's something like the PTSD, you know. I get triggered back into a state of, well, on certain triggers, I get triggered back into a state of like a terrified toddler, you know. And I feel all the emotions and everything as if it was happening again. So today, sort of like struggling and losing where I was and not understanding certain parts of it. I did do one good thing though. Back then I wouldn't have asked questions, because I didn't want to draw attention to myself. That's something different, you know. I did say when she started going on about density, or P equals mass divided by volume, and I was like, whoa, so that's just gone right over my head. She did sort of like explain, and I got that part. But then she started doing some more symbols. There was like a triangle with an E, which represents energy, joules, or kilojoules, that something has. And then there was another triangle with something with another letter or something beside it, and then there was like an egg-shaped thing with a line through it. She told me what that was as well, and I don't think I wrote those down. But yeah, you know, I was trying to work out what they all meant and that, and then having to do the weights with it, and the mass and the volume, which is numbers basically. You know, you do get a little sum to do. And the problem is it's division as well, and because I was trying to work it out in my head, and I used to struggle at school with division, you know, back in the day. It's all come flooding back that, oh my god, all that panic, oh my god, I can't do this, I don't know how to do this, and I can't remember which way round things go. I can feel myself welling up now, and I shouldn't be, but it's all that emotion coming back. And this is part of having a mental illness. You know, it can take over at the most inopportune times. You know, I've got all the options there to talk to the teachers if I'm struggling, you know, ask questions. I don't have to ask my in the class or whatever, you know. We've got teams set up, which I've just sorted that out. I have no idea how to work it. So, you know, I'm trying to find, you know, fact sheets and homework or stuff that I could, you know, learn from. just to make sure I've got all the information there, you know, so when I do hand in my homework, it's all correct. I mean, I've done sort of like the first page, and it's just all about molecules, particles, and how they interact, the different states. Now the next bit is the finding density and energy. You know, that's a bit I struggle with, maths. I mean, I was struggling with the maths as it is, you know, so having to change certain things into letters to mean something else, or to mean something, it's hard to take in all at once when you don't know it. I mean, there's people in the class that have, you know, failed last year and come back, so they know a lot of the stuff anyway. So they're going on about stuff that's further on in the lessons as well, like, you know, it's just all baffling my head when it comes to certain words and phrases and stuff. So, you know, I mean, she was on about, was it the quantitative or the quantifying of particles or something, I can't remember. It's all written down there, but yeah, see, look, I'm going off on one now, you know, and I'm trying to still figure it out in my head while I'm talking to you lot. And yeah, and that's what it's been like today, you know, trying to figure, well, I suppose it was all right up until break time, and then from sort of like break time till lunchtime, or so from after break till lunchtime, it was all sort of like, oh, paying attention, but don't know what I'm paying attention to, and trying to work things out, and oh yeah, my brain's not been used to that for a while. Such intense having to pay attention, because I've basically been a recluse for oh God knows how many years now. Only going out when I have to, or, you know, I've been able to visit friends now and again and stuff like that, and you just get away from the flat. But that's about it, you know. I've not been in that sort of environment since I was back at college when I was welding and fabrication. I mean, I didn't have to do this sort of thing when I was doing welding. I had to know pi. You know, I had to know how to measure and work out an area and things like that. But yeah, it was never sort of like on a particle level. Yeah, I had to know how, you know, your metals welded together, you know, the heat temperatures and the different techniques, and stuff like that. But yeah. Now this is going into the deeper side of mathematics and stuff, and, you know, the workings of the universe. I mean, I love this stuff, but I just don't know that side of it. See, I'm welling up again, and I shouldn't be. Ciao, Kaz. See, this is what happens. I'm glad I did it at home and not at school, at college, sorry, at school. See, I think I'm back at school. Yeah, I've got to ground myself and bring myself back to reality, bring myself back to the here and now. This is what you have to do when you've been triggered. Try and walk away from the triggers for starters. Try and take your mind off them. This is why I've got some nice chill out music on. I've got a hot bath so I can feel the heat. You know, you can see I'm sweating like mad. My body's probably like a lobster. But then I've got the popping of the bubbles. You just listen to things like that, and talking to you lot is helping definitely. But yeah, I have had a good day, but I've got a hell of a lot to learn yet. I don't know. I think maybe because I'm the sort of person I can't. Well, certain things I can learn straight away, but then there's other things I need like 2 or 3 goes. Of being told, or, you know, for me to work it out myself, you know, be shown once and have all the information there to work from, and I don't think I've got all the information there, that's the thing, so I don't know what I'm working from. It's coming up again, sorry. And that's how it was at school. I mean, at school I never knew what pi was, and nobody told me what the number was, so when it comes to questions like that, it was like, I don't know. Tell me what pi is, but they wouldn't. It wasn't that sort of learning that I had, because I was behind quite a lot. But like the experiment sides of things, Having to work things out in my head to a certain extent I can do. It's like everything about, liquids, gases and solids, I already knew, and that has stuck with me all through school and all through my life up until now. Yeah, I might have worked on it now and again with certain aspects, but yeah, there is a lot that I do know, but when it comes down to the technical side of it, the writing it down, the equations, the theories, the words, what everything's called, and the process of writing things down in a different way, I never got taught. I mean, I think this is part of the maths lesson, but I don't get maths till tomorrow. So I'm hoping that the two lessons actually work together and I get like a double dose of being able to learn the same things. Because obviously we're doing dividing and multiplying with the mass and the volumes. And I'll be doing that tomorrow, I think, actually. Because we've done adding and taking away, which was the first week. So yeah, that should be this week. So hopefully I'll be able to take that over. I just forgot how to set things up and how to work it out. But once I know the basics, I can progress. This is my plan anyway. But now, yeah, I just need to chill out, have my bath, get myself grounded, start thinking about college until tomorrow morning when I have to get up for maths, which I am looking forward to. There is a bit of apprehension on what my abilities are going to be like, but I think what I might do, there is some sort of like extra lessons and things like that I can sign up for, just learning lessons on certain aspects. So there'll be a way forward, definitely. Like I say, it's only the second week, or the second lesson actually, for science, and my second lesson tomorrow for maths. I've had 2 English now, so yes, and I've got till July next year. I can't remember the date, but yeah, until July next year for doing exams. So we'll just keep an eye on this, isn't it? See how far I go. I've just got to keep myself grounded, bring myself back down to earth and back away from when I was at school. Come on, Kaz, get into this classroom instead of that one. Oh God, yeah, it's just, it really is, it's mashed my head today. But yeah, I think I am coping with it well, because I think if I'd have done this about 3 years ago, I probably would have folded today and not gone back tomorrow, and just left it at that, and sat at home and would just be constantly triggered thinking about it and everything else that comes with it, disappointing myself and all this stuff, and it all goes on. But no, I have to stop that process. And people that have the same problem, spiraling thoughts, you have to stop that process, because that's what brings on the anxiety, what brings on the self-doubt, and it can lead on to other things, self-harm, unfortunately, with me, definitely, and that's not a place where I want to go again, but it's good that I have actually recognised this. I think, Jane, it was you that was saying that I'm recognising the awareness that I've got. See, this is all new stuff to me again. So, but even being out in the world, interacting with people, and it's. Come on, guys, what were you trying to think about then? Oh yeah, I've not done this for a long time. And I mean, I went to Creamfields, yeah, that's like five days. It's not so busy on the first day, but when it comes to Friday, Saturday and Sunday night, there's thousands and thousands of people there, and it does affect me. I do get panic attacks around big crowds of people. It wasn't so bad, I could walk downtown, or, I can go to college, walk through the kids, or people there. It's a big crowd and things like that. But when it comes to thousands and thousands of people, and you're packed from shoulder to shoulder, from chest to back, squished into a tent, sweltering hot, yeah, panic sets in for me. But it's not that sort of feeling that I get from college at all. It is taking me back to my school days, and just the feelings that I felt when I was falling behind, not getting the results. So it's coming back again now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that amazes me, it really does. How you can be talking about something and then all of a sudden all that emotion comes back up again, and your eyes are welling up, and it's something that happened so many years ago. I mean, I should really cry about it. I should do and let it out. That is part of the healing. So I do apologise. I'm going to let it do what it needs to do. Everything's different now, guys. Everything's different. You're not there anymore. You're safe. You got this. You got this. And let it pass. It's going to come out more, I know it is. But that's what I have to do. Reassure that girl back then that everything's going to be fine. That nothing bad's going to happen. She's not going to let anybody down. Even if she doesn't pass her exams, even if she can't understand at this level, just go back a level, Start right at the beginning and work your way up. You just be sat back another year, that's all. It'd be easy, And I'm sure as I get certain things, my knowledge will expand. Things will slot into place, Everything will just come. But yeah, panicking. But it's not Kaz today that's panicking, it's Kaz, 14, 15, 16 years old, at school. That's who I feel like right now. But I've got the brains to do this, I know I have. And I've just got convinced that Kaz back then, back in my school days, that she's capable. Show her how far she's come. Show her what we know. Help her realise that, oh God, yeah, this is easy. Because I know once my brain stops jumping around and shutting down, I'll be able to take it in. I'll be fine. Once I understand. There's a lot that I didn't understand at that age, at home, at school. But I do have that understanding now what was going on. And it does all stem from the abuse. I suppose that's not helping either, taking me back to that time in my life, that's when I was at home with a lot of abuse. There was times I was getting bullied at school as well, but I'm not there anymore. I'm somewhere completely different. But this is it. This is all part of mental health issues, mental illness, how abuse can change the brain so much, and within an instant it can bring back so much. So my brain's just gone blank now. It doesn't want to bring back that. That's something that I still need to work on, obviously. But because there's other aspects in my life where my brain doesn't shut down. You know, I can focus and get to normal and move forward. I don't know if it's because I'm actually speaking about it all that it's bringing it all back up now. I suppose if I sat here and just chilled out and meditated, I wouldn't be feeling like this. But yeah, I'm hoping that there's a lot of people out there that actually relate to this. Just how certain incidences, which could seemingly be so innocent, you know, can trigger such a, oh God, such an attack of feelings that are from so long ago. But when you do recognise them, when you see them for what they are, and you try and recognise what's behind it all, you can move forward, you know. Oh, sorry, I was back there again. I was trying to think of something and I couldn't. But yeah, I was thinking of myself back then. You know, I just move forward in certain aspects, and I know I can do it again. I am moving forward. I've moved forward a hell of a lot. And I do know my shit when it comes to a lot of things. You know, I'm not thick. Even though I was told I was, you know, I was in the bottom set, but like I say, all the stuff that was going on in my life, you know, there's no surprise. I suppose there's also, I've got a routine cancer checkup tomorrow as well. It used to be every 3 months since I had my cancer treatment. And now it's gone from 4 to 6 months now. Every 6 months I get a checkup. So I was just going to say what they do, but I don't think I will. I don't know if I have before, but yeah. Yeah. I get a finger put up my bottom and they check my scarring. But like I have had, last week it was, I had a very strange flare up around the scarring. I mean, it went down, but you know, it was so hot and inflamed and red. You know, I marked it off. I thought, oh God, I hope it's not an infection or it's coming back or whatever. I couldn't think of anything that would set it off like that. So I've taken a photograph of it. I'll mention it tomorrow, Friday when I go and see them. And see what they say about it. I don't know if it's anything to worry about, but I'm trying not to worry. But you know, this could be a little bit of added stress. Was it subconscious stress? About Friday and getting a checkup for the cancer. It could all be intermingled with today and how my head is. So I'm just going to try and keep my head as grounded as possible and see what happens. That's what I can do. But yeah, maths tomorrow. I'm sort of looking forward to it. I'm sort of like not, but I'm going to ask questions and make sure I understand the workings out and what's going on. So I don't even know if I've done all the homework, which I know I have. But my head's like, oh God, have you done this? Is there anything that you should have done, you know, that you've forgotten? You know, it's gone into pure panic mode on back as I was a kid, you know, you've not done your homework, have you done? Oh God, yeah. So yeah, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you everybody for your comments and everything. And you know, and all your likes and subscribes and shares and everything. It's just amazing to have your support. And if I help one person out there, you know, just explaining what I'm going through, then maybe, you know, to not feel alone, you know, maybe they can sort of like, oh right, I do that, okay, so let's try this, you know, this is the reason why this is happening, this is what happens when that happens. And this is what you do to try and sort yourself out and move forward. But yeah, I've not got that I'm going to quit feeling like I used to get. You know, I'm going to walk away because I can't do this. It's too hard. There's too much stress. You know, that would normally send me sideways. You know, I'd probably lock myself away for a few months and not to speak to anybody or do anything, you know, because I feel ashamed, you know, because I've gone on about college and all sorts. And then all of a sudden, you know, I've not done it. You know, I've stopped. You know, that would have happened in the past. But no, I am determined to keep going, no matter how scary it is for me, you know, because it's facing a fear. A fear that I'm going to get it wrong, a fear of failure, a fear of being judged, you know. These are deep set fears from many, many, many years ago, that I haven't been able to deal with properly, especially in this sort of environment, under this amount of stress, because yeah, my brain did hurt today after trying to work things out. But yeah, it's not stopped since, but I can feel it calming down now. So I am ever so sorry for waffling on, but thank you very much for listening to me for my vent of today, and I shall let you know how everything goes tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Good night. God bless.